Kanpur police is going to tell the court in its report that he was evading. But did you go after him is the big question here. After 4 days of evading, Shivam arrested, accused in the Kanpur Lamborghini crash matter. Multiple attempts to shield the VVIP Brat failed completely. The tobacco baron's son has now been arrested. He was evading the law. He was not cooperating. But did you even go after him? Is the question that Kanpur police must answer. That's in fact something that we are going to in fact see. Kanpur police make that sort of an argument that he was nabbed because he was evasive. He was not cooperating with us. Did you go after him? Did you do his blood alcohol test? No. Initially, you never even named him in the FIR. So what are you trying to indicate here? These are questions that the Kanpur police must answer. Shivam Mishra finally arrested. As we speak, Simar is telling us that he's in court, waiting for the judge to arrive. A big possibility that he may, in fact, get away this time around. Why? Because whether he was behind the wheels or not is going to be difficult to establish, even though there is a video. Tinted glasses, there is a claim that there was a driver. The driver has apparently testified as well, saying that he was behind the wheels and not Shivam. The father went on to say Shivam was sitting next to the driver. In fact, the driver fell ill. The bouncers at the outset said Shivam had some sort of a seizure or a mini heart attack. Now Shivam Mishra, 4 days after this crash, has been arrested. VVIP's Brat's lawless drive has ended. His name was missing in the FIR. Shivam's alcohol test was not done. Family tried to make the driver a scapegoat, and bouncers were also seen removing the number plate. Thankfully for the videographic evidence of the same. These are videos that are doing the rounds and would be produced in court to indeed prove that Shivam Mishra was behind the wheels. It's difficult to prove now whether this was a case of drunken driving or not, because the police did not do their job. They never ever did an alcohol blood test on him, which is mandatory. Why is the question that the police has to now answer. But the case stands diluted, not an iota of doubt about it. The loopholes that Shivam can now use: no blood alcohol test done, tinted glasses on the car, driver claims he was driving, he's made a statement. Family said that indeed it was in fact an epileptic seizure that Shivam Mishra had suffered. Kanpur police says that Shivam Mishra has been arrested for non-cooperation and for evading arrest. When he went to Delhi, when he was sent off to Delhi, what was the Kanpur police doing? And nothing really stopped the Kanpur police from arresting Shivam Mishra from Delhi. That is something that the Kanpur police has got to answer. Why his name never appeared in the FIR? Why couldn't they do a blood alcohol test? These are questions that the Kanpur police will now have to answer. Across to Simar for more details on that story. Simar, the very latest, as you report on that from court right now, the police has said that he was not cooperating, he was evading the law, and that's the reason why he was arrested.
Well, yes, that has been the argument which will be given by Kanpur police to the court, because there were several sections which in fact didn't have the authority of police to arrest him. That's why the police is making the claim that the reason for the arrest of Shivam Mishra is that he was not in fact cooperating with the police. He was evading the questions, he was evading the summons, and also he was not cooperating in the investigation so far. In fact, when the police tried to summon him, to question him, police had to in fact make some efforts. The team also went to Delhi to find him, but he was finally found in Kanpur, from where he had been arrested. So that have been the charges made by the Kanpur police, that they had to question him, ascertain the facts, but didn't have any of the response from the side of Shivam Mishra, who was claiming that he was in hospital. But after that, it remains to be seen that what does the court give the decision in this very particular matter. But this is the argument which will be presented by Kanpur police in the court, which has been told exclusively to India Today by the Kanpur police, that this is the main argument which will be given in the court.
The fact of the matter is that there have been several attempts to cover up this case, and the Kanpur police is hand in glove, isn't it? Or else why wouldn't they do the two basics, name him in the FIR and do an alcohol test?
Well, exactly. That has
Yes.
been the case in this very particular matter. They were, in fact, first didn't, included the name of Shivam Mishra in the FIR. The FIR was registered late. It had to be the new national headline, to be made to, in fact, put pressure on Kanpur police, which finally accepted that yes, Shivam was driving. That's why we are including his name in the FIR. And after he was named in the FIR for more than 24 hours, which is the rule that in 24 hours the medical should be done. It was not done. It's more than 72 hours since his medical test has not been done. Finally, now today itself, when the Kanpur police arrested Shivam Mishra, they took him to Ursula Hospital that in Kanpur. And after that, a medical report is being submitted in the court right now. But then too, it remains to be seen on the part of the court that whether they accept this very particular medical report, which is in fact after the 72 hours of the accident, and whether this medical report establish anything, whether he was under the influence of alcohol or any other drug, it is very hard to say. But that has been the primary, the claim of Kanpur police, that he was not, cooperating in the investigation. He was evading the arrest. That's why they had to, in fact, arrest him. But in all likelihood, keeping in mind the investigation done by the, Kanpur police, which is a complete botched-up investigation, the facts are not that strong enough to implicate him, to, in fact, convict him. So in all likelihood, the court might, in fact, reject the application of the Kanpur police, which has sought for the custody of Shivam Mishra in this very particular matter.
Simar, what angers me is that the police has the audacity to now say, listen, he was in Delhi. The minute he returned, we arrested him. Were they stopped by somebody physically from going to Delhi and pick him up from the city? What stopped them?
Well, as in their argument, the Kanpur police has claimed that, the team, in fact, went to Delhi, the premises of his residence, where they were not, in fact, allowed to go inside. And they also tried to, in fact, double-check with the hospital where he was admitted, and the medical was presented to the Kanpur police. But they say that they didn't get the support of, the staff and the people from the family of Shivam Mishra, after which, in fact, he was called to Delhi. That's the argument which has been made by Kanpur police. They have shown that he has been arrested from Kanpur itself. Now we'll wait for the statement of Shivam Mishra or the family of Shivam Mishra to, in fact, make an argument that whether he was arrested from Kanpur or what exactly happened, what exactly Kanpur police, did in this investigation. When did they call him? What happened? That's another side of the story, which will only be come to the fore after this hearing ends, and we'll have any of the statement coming from the lawyer of Shivam Mishra in this very particular case.
Well, absolutely, Simar. Be with us. I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now. We have a reaction from Atul Srivastav, the DCP, in fact, on this entire arrest. Let's take a listen.
देखिए, ये सूचना प्राप्त हुई थी हमें सूत्रों से कि वो कानपुर आया हुआ है। इस सूचना के आधार पर तत्काल टीमें सक्रिय हुई और टीमों ने कार्रवाई करते हुए उसको गिरफ्तार किया है। हमने उसको माननीय न्यायालय पर प्रस्तुत किया है और माननीय न्यायालय में अग्रिम कार्रवाई की जा रही है। 5 टीमें लगी हुई थी, बाकी चूंकि ये विवेचना का विषय है, हम लोगों ने गिरफ्तार करके माननीय न्यायालय में प्रस्तुत कर दिया।
Difficult to believe that the police were not under pressure in that case. Look at the kind of response that is coming from them. Absolutely lame. Listening to what the father said when asked continuously about Shivam Mishra and how he was like trying to mislead. Even the reporters saying, listen, he was so unwell, he had to be sent to Delhi and all of that nonsense. Please take a listen.
पंडित मिश्रा जी, ये बताइए आपका बेटा कहाँ है?
बेटा सर उसी समय मैंने उसको दिल्ली भेज दिया था और वो डॉक्टर के ट्रीटमेंट के अंडर में है, क्योंकि अचानक जिस तरीके से वो बेहोश हुआ और समझ में नहीं आया उसका रीजन क्या है, ब्लड प्रेशर समझ में नहीं आया, जो भी हो, तो डॉक्टर के ट्रीटमेंट में दिल्ली भेजा हुआ है। ट्रायल करने में वो सिविल लाइन्स में पदम अपार्टमेंट तक गया। उसके बाद में गाड़ी वहाँ से उसने बैक की और गाड़ी लेके इधर ये ड्राइवर के साथ में आ रहा था। वहाँ करीब कुछ फॉल्ट उसमें शायद रह गया था, ये बाद में महसूस हो रहा है, क्योंकि गाड़ी लेके वहाँ से आया तो जो मेरे सुनने में आया है कि किसी टेम्पो ने जो स्थान था वहाँ पे गाड़ी में आगे से टक्कर मारी। क्योंकि जब ड्राइवर से पूछा गया तो उसने कहा ये थोड़ा सा एकदम से कुछ बेहोश होने लगे तो ध्यान उसका भटक गया ड्राइवर का।
कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, acting as if he doesn't know anything about what his son has done when clearly he was behind the wheels. If at all this was a case of him actually having a seizure or actually having some sort of a medical emergency because of which the crash happened, even for a moment, if we were to give this man the benefit of doubt, they could have not done this. They could have not packed him off to Delhi. They could have, in fact, gone to the police and said, look, this was a medical problem that the driver had faced. Instead, they said they did not, in fact, prevent or not allow the police to do a blood alcohol test. Why did they then run away from that? That's the big question that the police has to answer. Bouncers tried to do a cover-up as well at the very outset. Listen in to what the police had said.
कल वकील द्वारा शिवम मिश्रा के वक्तव्य दिया गया कि गाड़ी जो है उनका ड्राइवर चला रहा था। पुलिस से रिपोर्ट मांगी गई है कि पुलिस के आधार पर ही जो है कोर्ट शायद वो कार्रवाई करेगी। आप लोग का क्लियर स्टैंड क्या है, गाड़ी कौन चला रहा था?
ये शुरुआती दौर में देखा होगा आपने कि जो तौफीक जो इंजर्ड था उनकी एप्लीकेशन पे एफआईआर पंजीकृत होती है, जिसमें गाड़ी का नंबर होता है केवल और ड्राइवर का डिटेल नहीं होता है। हमारी टीम उसमें, हमारा जो विवेचक है इन्वेस्टिगेशन करता है और इन्वेस्टिगेशन में वो सीसीटीवी फुटेज और लोगों के उसके डिटेल होगा और गाड़ी का डिटेल लेकर के हमें पता लग जाता है ये गाड़ी किसकी है और गाड़ी ड्राइव कौन कर रहा था। इनके विवेचना में उनका नाम आया है तो हमारे पास पुख्ते सबूत होंगे, इसके आधार पर उनका नाम आया। तो गाड़ी को ड्राइव कर रहे थे, शिवम मिश्रा कर रहे थे। उनका अधिवक्ता कुछ भी कहें, लेकिन हमारी जांच में शिवम मिश्रा जो है गाड़ी को ड्राइव कर रहे थे और उन्हीं के खिलाफ वैधानिक कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
Driving the car, but they did not do a blood alcohol test on him and let him go off to Delhi. That's the question that the police is to now answer. We will continuously be getting you updates.